Do you
I don't
even
know
have
if
to
I'm
put
high value, but
you wouldn't identify as high value?
Just
I
tell
don't
us
know.
how
I think
the,
in some dimensions I am, and in other dimensions I'm lacking. I don't think I'm like the total package.
the
No, but
ideal-
overall, I feel it's just like an overall feeling. It doesn't have to be you have to be superior on every single level.
Yeah.
Like I would call you a high value man or high quality.
Thank you very much.
man.
Appreciate it. Why do you say that?
the blush.
It's just I said I'm just being honest, okay? I don't speak the truth. Like it's just at least
You have a successful podcast.
Yes.
You know, you're an independent man who lives on his own.
puts
like,
on
his
ring box in
living
front of
with
him.
your
Like-
parents. Yeah, you could take a girl out for dinner. You could potentially settle down and have a kid and stuff like that.
yeah, it's like all the aspects are there.
Yeah.
You're funny, you're hilarious, you have a personality, you know,
You
you know how to
can
continue a
talk to women.
conversation.
I have my
Yeah.
moments. But thank you very much for the endorsement. That's very nice of you.
That was a cute
Um,
moment. I hope someone makes a clip out of that. That was
But,
the cutest moment of my life.
Good times.
But but do you have to still put an effort, like when it comes to like you know hooking up with girls and stuff like that, or is it effortless now?
What do you mean? Put in effort.
So I feel like you know
How does the conversation go? This is
When
my
there's a-
question.
Yeah.
when there's a
How does
girl-
the no?
I'm
Please,
getting
you have
grilled
please
right
just
now.
listen and answer.
Yeah, do you
the recent girls that have messaged you, how does the conversation go? They say, "Hey, they like, hey, let's hang out, let's go to dinner," or are you like, "Hey, oh,
Well,
hey, you're cute."
I don't,
Yeah.
I'd rather not get into any specifics about
And I
about
have to
that.
respect that,
But
unfortunately,
but
I'm just eager to know. I'm intrigued.
But I mean, I would say that started in like January when people like girls started messaging me.
Okay.
Because that's when we started having like clips from the podcast go viral. But even though I've been doing YouTube for 10 years, like even though I had like a kind of popular channel before the podcast, girls really weren't DMing me because most of my audience was men, and it still is. But I would say that
I'm like subscribe to my OF.
I would say that
Link in bio.
I mean, even though I did YouTube and I was a content creator, I would say my dating experience up until very recently has been like pretty normal, like the normal average guy's experience. Because I think a lot of women honestly don't give a fuck about that I have a YouTube channel. And you could actually argue, I mean, you're saying, well, you have a successful podcast. I think a lot of women view this podcast as a little controversial. And I think a lot of women are like, bro, he's just another dude with a podcast. Like, it's almost a meme, like, oh, it's like a white dude with a podcast, you know? So like, there's definitely haters too.
But I think you putting yourself out there, because you just like being in your presence, you definitely come across as a very like
confident,
well-rounded, like great morals, like a guy who would be very good to a female, and like you have confidence too. So putting yourself out there and displaying more of that is definitely gonna reel women in more. To basically,
Am I confident?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are for sure.
Yes,
The
you
fact
are.
that
100%.
you have the podcast means you're confident because you're putting
Yeah.
yourself on camera like all the time.
I mean,
I
you're
think you're
trying
a
to get
little
into
shy.
some like controversial stuff and ruffle feathers, but in your
No, I think you're a
know.
little shy and stuff like that, right? So like
Well, I'm introverted.
You are-
I'm introverted.
introvert doesn't necessarily means you're shy or not. That's actually nothing to do with it. Introvert means you lose energy when you hang out with a lot of
Yes.
people
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I think you're a little shy and stuff like that at the beginning, and then like we kind of have to like talk to you and stuff like that to open you
Yeah.
up and shit. But I feel like fuck that, just like, go for it.
To open you up.
Yeah, you just gotta do it.
Isn't there's some quote, something like, I'm not saying this to be cocky, but I feel like people who are, it's something like people who are like dumb have or people who are ignorant have the blessing of being sure of themselves, but people who are intelligent are mired in self-doubt.
Constantly questioning
Or
themselves.
Like
something.
imposter syndrome?
There's like
Yeah.
a quote. Can anybody in the chat help me find it? But yeah, I mean, I consider myself a bit more of a creative, so I think creatives tend to have are a bit more. There's a word for it.
What Victoria said, imposter syndrome.
yeah.
No, it's not imposter syndrome. It's like, in order to be a creative individual, you have to be sensitive. And not sensitive in the way of like you get offended really easily by things, but you're you're more sensitive to things.
Your
You're more
audience,
perceptive,
yeah.
I guess.
How people interpret
Yeah.
what you're.
So I'm
What's
trying to-
good, what's bad, what's going to be popular, what your audience want, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but thank you very much for the endorsements. I very